One of the most painful experiences we can go through is losing someone that we care about. But what makes the pain so intense is not just necessarily losing that person, but it's the wound that gets triggered when we lose them. For some people, that wound is rejection. For others, it's abandonment. And for some people, it's actually experiencing both. Rejection and abandonment are very similar, but they hurt in completely different ways. Rejection is the experience of feeling unwanted, being not accepted or not valued by someone else. The wound that then gets created in a person is the feeling that you just weren't enough. We can feel rejection in many different types of situations or experiences. It could be someone who doesn't choose you to be in a relationship with them. It could be a partner that says that they just don't love you anymore. It could be you getting criticized or dismissed for how you feel or being compared to someone else. It could also just be someone ignoring your feelings or not even validating what it is that you need. A lot of the thoughts that we think after we experience rejection are all kind of the same. It's that thought of, why wasn't I enough? What did I do wrong that caused this to happen? What does that person have that I don't? Abandonment looks a little differently. Abandonment is really about you being left alone. It's the experience of feeling left or just like unsafe or unsupported. More so, it has to do with someone that you were dependent on. You were relying on this person to be a certain person in your life to support you, to be there for you, and to not leave you most likely at a vulnerable time. The wound that gets created when you experience abandonment time and time again is people that I love leave me. And this is something that is playing in the background that you don't even know is kind of taking over your subconscious mind, which causes you to put up walls, for example. There are many different types of experiences and relationships where you can feel abandonment. You can go back to childhood and we can talk about mom and dad, and we can talk about a parent who was just not emotionally there for you. We could talk about someone just kind of leaving you unexpectedly with no explanation, no reason. They're just out the door. We could talk about a partner who just takes away affection, takes away all of the things that they used to give you at one point. Abandonment is all about something that you had from this person and now you don't have it. The pain that you feel when you experience abandonment is this feeling like now you are alone and no one is there for you. A lot of thoughts that kind of circulate in your mind, either if you have experienced abandonment or after you experience abandonment, is going to be, I need to do more to make sure that this person doesn't leave. We become the people pleasers. We become the codependents. We become the people that walk on eggshells and we're trying to be perfect all the time just so we won't ever experience the pain that we once felt at some point. The big difference between experienced rejection and experiencing abandonment is that rejection will target your self-worth. It has to do with you, your value, what you brought to the table. Abandonment attacks more of just like your safety and feeling secure in a relationship. When you experience abandonment, the thought way in the back of your mind is that I won't be okay if I'm alone. When you experience rejection, it's more of just, I wasn't good enough to have you stay in my life. You can absolutely experience both. In fact, a lot of people will experience both at one time. Let's talk about a couple of different scenarios and how you can actually even start to heal from all of these different scenarios where possibly you are experiencing both. You're experiencing feeling unwanted and also being left behind. First example, very easy. Someone just breaks up with you unexpectedly. Someone you love ends the relationship and just says, I don't feel the same anymore. I don't feel the way I used to feel. When it comes out of nowhere, you can experience rejection because you just don't understand where this is even possibly coming from. If you could kind of see it coming and maybe on to some level, you almost agree that maybe you're just not right for this person either, and you can kind of come to terms with that, then you won't experience rejection. Rejection only happens in this scenario when it kind of happens out of the blue. There was no sign, no warning that this was coming. It was like one day you were happy and the next day this person just wasn't happy being in a relationship with you. Of course, this is also a form of abandonment that you are experiencing because someone's leaving and they're leaving abruptly. There was no warning, there was no sign, there was no discussion. It was just like all of a sudden this person's gone. So now your mind can't catch up with what's actually happening. So the fear kind of settles in. They're leaving me. I'm losing this person. What is my life going to look like now that this person's not in my life? Like I can't live to some extent without this person. I'm either maybe so reliant on this person, or perhaps it's just a matter of change, and change really sucks. And that's why we experience heartbreak. So you're really grieving the loss of a relationship. You're not necessarily questioning your value when you're experiencing abandonment. Example number 2, you've been cheated on. Cheating will always trigger both of these wounds because the reality is they did choose someone else over you. But the question of why wasn't I enough has to do with your sense of self-worth and feeling insecure because of what someone did. And usually people are less focused on that person, their character, who they are, that made them do what they did, versus just always focusing on themselves and what they did wrong to create this problem. Healing from this type of rejection has a lot to do with understanding why a person did what they did. Because at the end of the day, even if you're not happy, even if you're no longer in love with this person, there's a way to go about it. And so someone with less character, a coward, a selfish person, a person who might be narcissistic, a person, I mean, we can go on and on in terms of who this person is, how they're wounded, and why they do what they do. But those are really critical things to consider and to understand in order for you to be able to heal. Because you're not going to be able to heal from rejection by just continuously blaming yourself for why this person did what they did. It had nothing to do with your looks. It had nothing to do with what you gave, what you didn't do, if you nagged, if you didn't nag, standards that you had. It had absolutely nothing to do with you. Someone not loving you or value or seeing your value doesn't really have anything to do with you. It's more about what this person prefers in a relationship versus what you prefer in a relationship or what you're even willing to give. And a lot of times what people don't understand is what you weren't willing to give that perhaps another person is willing to give is not your standard, is not what you would want to, that's not the type of person you would want to be in a relationship. So if you know you don't want to actually be that person, then you're right. You're actually not right for that person, and that's okay. Look at it more as a compliment and less as a dig on your character or your value. When you've been cheated on, of course, you're going to feel rejection, like we just said, but you're also going to feel abandonment, especially if this person cheats and then quickly leaves. Because what's hitting you at your core is that you actually love and trusted this person. Like you gave that vulnerability to this person and they didn't value it. So now in your mind, what you're recording is when I love someone and trust someone, they could possibly leave me. This is where the betrayal of what it is that you've been through will cause a wound, a fear that love is unstable. Again, how do we even heal from something like that? Well, it's funny because as we say all of these different scenarios, you can see the logic in it versus like the emotion. And of course, it's hard when you're in the moment, you're in a relationship with a certain person to obviously remove the emotion from the scenario. Very hard to do, but it is important to take a step back. And that's why time does heal, but it's what you do in that time that causes you to either heal, move on, grow, and learn, get better, etc., or become bitter, angry, have it really hit your self-esteem, your self-worth, never get over this situation, still talking about it 10 years later. That's why it's so important to not just understand yourself, but also understand other people and understand your role in the relationship. And that doesn't mean that you perhaps did something wrong that created this problem. But I will say, I've never met anyone, coached anyone, my situation as well, that was cheated on and left, discarded, went through all of these horrific things where they didn't see red flags in this person. So overlooking red flags, not having higher standards, not understanding what you need or want in a relationship, like not really being focused on the character of a person, because the character of a person that can do any one of these things and just like abruptly leave. I'm not talking about someone that like slowly falls out of love with you and says, unfortunately, like, I don't love you anymore and we're breaking up. You can go through a breakup and not experience severe rejection or abandonment. That can absolutely happen. And that's a normal breakup that actually does happen. All of these scenarios are not normal breakups, and they have to do with someone's character and less about what you're contributing to the relationship. That's how you heal. That's how you grow. That's how you move on, is understanding that. Let's talk about non-romantic relationships. So let's talk about our parents. Like, look, no matter the age of who you are, I don't care if you're 20 to 50 to 85, it doesn't really matter. At the end of the day, we've all experienced different types of wounds coming from our childhood. And if growing up you had parents who were emotionally unavailable, you experienced rejection. You also experienced abandonment. And usually the wound that's inside of you, even prior to this romantic relationship that you possibly have been in, where you did experience rejection, where you did experience abandonment, it really just came from those initial experiences in childhood that created the wound to begin with. And that wound that was created then created the standard that you had for someone to be in your life. And this is why you didn't see those red flags. And this is why you overlooked those red flags. And this is why you didn't expect a high level, high value, good character person. You were maybe possibly looking at more surface level things instead of being able to see whether or not this person is good for you. So it's common sense that all children need three things. They need connection, they need reassurance, and they need to feel safe. So if a parent is cold, if they're distant, if they're critical, if they're negative, if they're unaffectionate, the list goes on and on. If you received any of those things and consistently, then you were not going to ever feel emotionally safe in your relationship with that parent. When that type of rejection happens, you are automatically going to feel not safe. And the reason why children will have the belief of not being lovable, being too much, really stifling themselves because no one's there for them is because they don't have logic. If you were a child that had logic, you would be able to see your parents clearly for who they are and the issues that they have and the struggles that they face. But instead, because you don't have that part of the brain that can really rationalize with those types of concepts, everything that happens to you, you take at face value and you take it on. That's why you can believe in the tooth fairy. That's why you can believe in Santa Claus. That's why when someone tells you that you're bad, you're going to believe it because you don't have that ability to reason, to challenge someone else's thoughts or what it is that they do or say to you. Whereas you become an adult, you start to see really quickly, you're just angry because you're not getting your way and that's why you're doing this to me. But still as adults, we take on things that we shouldn't take on because we lose that logic a little bit and we just get very emotional, and that's why we take things personally. No matter the type of relationship, if you're dealing with a family member, a friend, a romantic partner, anyone that you have a vulnerability with, and they are hot and cold, or they give you a little something and then they take it away, or they shut down, those are all examples of feeling rejection and abandonment. If you've experienced a lot of rejection time and time again throughout the course of your life, now remember, rejection has to do with self. It has to do with how you feel about yourself. So if you have low self-worth, low self-esteem, you have experienced rejection, childhood, adulthood, and you have taken those experiences on that now have created this pattern inside of you. And the only way to heal from it is to self-parent yourself and to rebuild that self-esteem and that self-worth back up. Because what someone does, their choices, what they say to you, how they hurt you, everything that you receive from the outside has nothing to do with you. And when you learn to kind of have that little protective bubble around you, and it doesn't mean that you're not going to feel things when people do reject you or hurt you or leave you or whatever that looks like, you're still going to feel, but being able to feel and process and detach because you understand it doesn't have anything to do with you, that is the healthy way to heal from some of the traumas that you will experience. Healing abandonment is completely different. Healing abandonment is more about feeling safe in your bubble. So in your bubble, if you have healed from rejection, you will have a high level of self-worth, confidence, you will feel good about yourself, you will feel like you can do something. Healing from abandonment is more of, if I am alone in this bubble, I feel safe and I feel like I can give myself everything that I need in order to feel happy, safe, at peace, calm, etc. It is trusting in yourself that if everyone were to leave, that you would be okay. If this video resonated with you and you really enjoyed it, please don't forget to hit subscribe, like, share, follow, do all the things. I will list all of my socials down below as well. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I feel like it's been a couple weeks since we posted a video. We are in the thick of summer right now. So I am just trying to soak it all in, enjoy these kiddos before, you blink and then they're going to be completely done with school. So we have an 11-year-old, a 12-year-old, and a 14-year-old. We are a blended family, and the crazy of 3 boys is absolutely real. So if you have all boys, please comment down below and let me know that it gets easier because the energy levels that are happening in this house right now in the summer are through the roof, but I wouldn't have it any other way. I hope you are well. Take care, and I'll see you in the next one.